So we created this program because we could see that there was a gap being created as Syrian refugee arrivals were crowdsourcing settlement information using WhatsApp, which they were all very familiar with. It was a useful tool to them. It was free and super easy and familiar. But what it meant was that they weren't becoming aware of settlement services as much as they could. And they would ask questions of each other in groups that were kind of informally created. And we had staff who were in those groups and trying to help answer them. But we really noticed that it was like the parallel worlds, that they weren't connecting as much with settlement as they could, because they'd be trying to solve problems and not know that there was a program that could get them much further. So we thought, what would happen if you could get accurate, useful, trustworthy information and referrals into that digital conversation, and try to bring the newcomer closer to settlement, and also to equip them with more information so that they could better navigate settlement services themselves.
Refugee 613 welcomes you to Ottawa started as a pilot project in March 2017. Its main purpose was to explore whether digital messaging could improve the uptake of settlement services by refugees and newcomers. And we wanted to test and see the effect of creating an online space moderated by an expert to see the effect on improving the shared and the quality of the shared information for newcomers and refugees. So Refugee 613 welcomes you to Ottawa, allows Arabic-speaking newcomers and refugees to ask questions using their smartphones and using the WhatsApp application. We created this group so they can ask any kind of question that they wanted. The answers would be provided by the moderator or by other member from the group. So it depends on the question that has been asked. The moderator works from 9 to 5 every day, Monday to Friday. And also they receive information and they receive messages about workshops that they are happening in the city, about events that they are happening in the city and they might interest them. And also they receive messages about any change in the roles or new regulation that's happening. Sometimes it's about cultural messages that could help them to better integrate and settle in Canada. Also, we do referrals in the group, provide them with the answer about this kind of information that they were looking for, and also we refer them to other agencies that they can find more information and they can find the service that they are looking for.
With relatively low-cost intervention, so one staff member, you are assisting the navigation needs of 500 direct members of the groups and their family members and their friends, because they tend to share the information they receive with non-members as well. You can make a small piece of information go very, very far. And the other thing that makes it efficient is people ask questions. Sometimes the moderator answers them, sometimes other group members answer them. So you're making use of community assets and knowledge. Another factor in the efficiency of this kind of initiative is that it relieves settlement counselors in our community of answering some of the frequently asked questions. So there's a layer of basic question that someone might be sitting at home really struggling with how to begin navigating in terms of services. And perhaps their only linkage is either to friends who may not have that information or have outdated information, or to try to reach their caseworker. And in this case, it's on their phone. They can ask their question of the group and get the answer right away. It's not complex case management. We're not providing settlement counseling, but it will resolve some of that sort of top layer of question that in fact can use up a lot of time of the settlement counselors.
As a pilot project, we were partnering with the YMCA Newcomer Information Center. So mainly the moderator would whenever they receive the question, they will look for the information themselves. If they didn't find the answer, they will send the question to the YMCA Newcomer Information Center, and they got the answer by one of their information specialists. By time, the moderator got the knowledge that they needed to answer the question themselves. The need of the newcomers are almost the same. So whenever a question was repeated, the answers were already archived by the moderator, and it was easy just to copy paste the answer. There are some questions that the moderator doesn't need to answer. Like, for example, where can I buy this item? Or can I find a mechanic for the car or whatever? So this kind of questions, the members themselves can refer each other to the services and they answer the questions. Sometimes the member would ask a question that needs the moderator answer, but one of the members, because they've been in that situation, they might post the answer, or they might post their own experience in that. The moderator in this case should look into the answer and verify the answer and tell the group that yes, it's the correct answer, and then give them the green light. Sometimes we do sessions in the group where we host a service provider and let member ask them questions directly. After each session, we share like small survey where like questions and answers with the members to ask them about how did they find this service, how did they find that the service provider, or if they want another session about different subject, if there is any negative or positive feedbacks from the session. Before a member can join the group, they receive a message from the moderator introducing themselves and give them like a small brief about the organization and ask them why they want to join the group, what are the subjects that they want the moderator to speak about in the group. This message gives us like a baseline of this, like the subject that we want to discuss and share information about in the group. One of the challenges that we faced in this program is being very popular. Many people wanted to join the group, and it was a bit challenged because there is a limitation of members in each group. So at the beginning, when we were accepting everyone. We had some conditions that should be applied to the member who wants to join the group. For example, they should be newly arrived, or they are expecting to arrive in a couple of months. They should be speaking Arabic, not working in the sector. Another challenge is the language, the Arabic language. So most of the materials, all of the materials online that we received are in English or French. So we have to translate everything. And we have to make sure about the translation, make sure about the language that was used, and make sure that it's clear and it's accurate. So for that, we created an archive, and also we recorded videos sometimes to explain some rules or some new regulation, like what happened during the COVID, for example. We created some videos to explain about the CERB, about how they apply for CERB, about all these non-clear information online.
We only have 500 group members at the moment because WhatsApp restricts the size of groups. But new technologies, new platforms are coming along that make it very appealing to switch from WhatsApp. What we have to do always is to see where does the audience go and where are they comfortable, which is one of the reasons that we're actively investigating transferring to Telegram, which has stronger security, more features, and a much bigger group capacity. As much as we would like to see groups like this exist across the country for all different language groups, we know that it's impractical. There's no way any funder is going to invest in that many groups in that many communities. However, what is possible is supporting either existing newcomer digital spaces or supporting the creation of new ones to do this kind of work. So that means training volunteers in how to be digital champions. And that's the area that we're moving into next, is looking at how do you equip a newcomer digital community if they identify for themselves that they have a need, with a stronger ability to do their own research and information verification, to moderate, to ensure a healthy, inclusive space. And so that, we believe, is the future.
At the end of 2018, we also conducted an evaluation for the whole group with the help of Sienna Consulting Group. So they used different methods, different tools, survey, focus groups, interviews, one-to-one interviews with the group members. We found that the main reason that people are joining this group is the information about government, if you could say government information, because it's not easy to find this kind of information online, and because of the language barrier as well. They wanted to have this information from a trusted source. Some people would say that they don't believe any other source. They always come back, or whenever they receive any kind of information, they come back to this group just to verify this information and make sure that this information is accurate. Overall, the evaluation members said the group is a great place where they can share and ask questions. 3/4 claim that it is beyond their expectations. 8 out of 10 members would definitely recommend it to other friends and members. And almost all of them said that they are planning to stay in the group in the future.
I landed on 30th of July 2019. When you're moving into a new place, you usually research and stuff like that. But the day-to-day things that you might face, basically, you will never find online someone talking about it. I remember when we were buying our first snowsuits for the kids, to be honest with you, like where I moved from the United Arab Emirates to Canada. So basically, we never had winters like Canada. And it was all new for us. But that was, one of the main concerns, buying the winter and preparing the kids with the winter cloth when we came over here. Yeah, it was a big issue for us. I went on the group and I was asking the guys on the group, like, where can I buy winter stuff and what should I buy? And it really helped. Like, we were discussing it for a whole day. Like, many people jumped in because there were other people who it seems are in the same situation. It's their first winter in Canada. I did go as one of the people have advised me, and it was a smooth sail, and from there, things were fine. There were a lot of small things, but they were important. The people on the group has been through these situations, and, out of personal experience, they started talking and, telling you tips and what to do and how to do it and stuff like that, which I found, like, it makes your day-to-day life easier. I'm still on the group, I'm active. It was something that I enjoy, and hopefully it will continue to grow and, like, maybe have a little bit more groups even. I just hope that this program doesn't stop, to be honest with you. I think it made life easier for all of us when we first came over here. Still making life easier for us.
The project is very easy to be copied or transferred to any other community. The main challenge is to find the right platform that is used in that community. In this case, we used the WhatsApp because it was already used in Arabic Syrian refugees, but maybe there's another platform that is more popular in different communities and different areas. So it's very important to study the community, to study them, or to do like a scan of what platforms are used to be able to choose the right platform.
A lot of times, colleagues in the sector tell us that they're afraid to try a digital group approach because they're concerned about getting messages at all time of day and night. And our answer is, you have to teach the group what is acceptable and what is not. and you have to set your own boundaries. I think one of the biggest learnings that we have had is setting your boundaries and your group culture at the beginning with very, very clear community guidelines, and enforcing those guidelines is extremely important. It is the difference between a very informal group with family and friends and a group that has a mission and a purpose and is in itself a service. If you're going to implement a digital messaging group as part of a settlement service, it's really important to remember that it takes time. People tend to underestimate the amount of time it takes to manage a group, and they think that this staff member they have running, let's say, an employment program, would be able to manage a digital group off the side of their desk at the same time. That's just not the case. It takes an incredible amount of work to monitor, to answer people's questions, to produce material to share in the group, and just generally, you're fostering a community and a dialogue, and you have to be present, and you have to do all kinds of work behind the scenes to ensure that that dialogue is healthy and engaging. It takes a certain personality to run a group like this. You have to be friendly and engaging, but know when to draw the line and be firm. You have to know where your boundaries are. In our case, a big boundary that is important for us to respect is not providing case management services. As much as a member of a group may private message us and say, I need help with X case, we should be doing the work to connect them to someone who will solve their problem for them, not taking on the full responsibility to solve that problem. Confidentiality is big. You need someone who's going to respect confidentiality, but they need to be a warm, welcoming personality who is really dedicated to the success of the group and the success of the people in the group.